In the mid-1980s, I worked with Robert Reynolds Sr., a marvelous artist and book designer for Graphic Arts Press in Portland. Rob Sr. Was the book designer for the volume I did called Land of the Umpqua, A History of Douglas County, Oregon, published in 1987. As he retired, I soon got to know his son, Robert Reynolds Jr., and his partner in graphic design, Letha Wulf, at Reynolds Wulf Design in Portland. They were secured for nearly 25 years by Lewis and Clark College to do the college publications, the magazines for the law school, the Undergraduate Alumni Association, as well as admissions brochures and other special items. So I started working with Reynolds Wulf, and ultimately they designed a whole series of books that I wrote: Lewis and Clark College, the literature of the Lewis and Clark expedition, Lewis and Clark from the Rockies to the Pacific, the corporate histories of Stimson Lumber and Hoffman Construction Company. These were projects that we worked on that produced major books. Then we had another relationship. Reynolds Wulf developed the corporate reports and continues to do so for nearly 35 years for the Genesee and Wyoming Railroad Corporation of Greenwich, Connecticut, and Rochester, New York. The GNW was a family railroad founded by the Fuller family to haul rock salt from a mine at Retzoff in upstate New York through to Rochester. From that modest 14-mile line developed an international corporation with 119 divisions worldwide. And while Rob and Letha were working on the annual reports for the GNW Railroad, my role was to provide historical research, to speak at the 100th anniversary of the Railroad Corporation in Rochester in 1996, and then to go to work at the Fuller Estate near Scranton, Pennsylvania. The Fuller family has a remarkable property, now in the fifth generation, that is administered today as a farm-to-table market operation, but it has bunking facilities for some 50 people, family homes, horse barn, lots of outbuildings, and a remarkable amount of history. So my role in working with the Fuller family and for Reynolds Wulf was to research and write the natural history brochures that are part of the educational programming, as well as researching and writing the exhibits that are today in one of the big horse barns on this property. So I had the joy of working with two really creative people, Letha and Rob, in both book design as well as exhibit development. These were rewarding relationships. And Rob and I were often in the field together. When doing the book Lewis and Clark from the Rockies to the Pacific, we sea kayaked the lower Columbia. We hiked the Lolo Trail in the Bitterroots of Idaho. And we attempted, insofar as possible, to have Rob shoot these stunning photographs at the place, at the day, as they were visited by Lewis and Clark and documented in their journals. So this kind of professional work involved not only research, but putting my boots on and stepping into history with a really wonderful colleague, Robert Reynolds Jr.